Having mentioned Frankfurt, after an illustrious career where he also served as the chief rabbi of Moravia, why did Rav Hirsch take on the rabbinical position in Frankfurt in 1851?
Okay, so that's a great question. I'm actually not 100% sure that I have the definitive answer. So maybe I'll talk a little bit around the question if that's okay.
That's fine.
But I think you're raising a very good point. People don't realize it's I think it's interesting how, rabbinic Jews often get associated with a particular pulpit, and then you forget that they might have served elsewhere also. Just to use another example, did someone speak about Rav Moshe Feinstein yet in this context?
No.
Okay, so I think for all of us, Rav Moshe Feinstein, he's a rabbi in the Lower East Side. It doesn't occur to us that he was a rabbi in Russia for several years before he came to America. I don't remember the exact amount of years, but it wasn't two. It was a significant amount. So Rav Hirsch is very much associated with Frankfurt. That's where he made his mark. But as you point out correctly, he was a rabbi in several other pulpits for a good 20 years beforehand. I would even go a step further and say not only was he a rabbi elsewhere, but some of his significant writings precede Frankfurt. He wrote the 19 letters and Chorev, both in a previous rabbinical position before he came to Frankfurt. That being said, when in 1851 he moves to Frankfurt and then spends 37 years there, ultimately posterity thinks about him as being a Rav in Frankfurt. And maybe that institutionally and as a representative of a certain stream in Orthodoxy, that happened more in Frankfurt. And he made a lot of communal decisions there in terms of a school system. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. He was in favor of the Orthodox community seceding from the larger Jewish community, namely being a separate political body vis-a-vis the German government. And I think most of those things happened in Frankfurt. So I don't know that I've really answered your question, but I'm not sure I know the answer, but I will say that he did do significant rabbinic work prior to Frankfurt, and yet is colloquially known as the Rav of Frankfurt Jewry.